What's up, y'all? I'm Tej, and I'm not so collected. I'm more of the crazy and unfiltered one.
And this is another episode of A Crazy Little Thing Called
The podcast that dives headfirst into the craziness of millennial life.
Welcome to the shit show, guys.
Welcome back to the Crazy Little Pod.
We practiced this, guys. I promise.
Welcome back, y'all, to a crazy little thing called the podcast,
Yes.
where we dive headfirst into
Apparently.
the beautiful, complicated, and sometimes crazy thing called millennial life. And I'm your host, Natalie, who is drunk off of work. I will say that much. Today was brutal. And who do I have with me?
And I am Tej, and I have a lot to say, so this may be an unhinged episode. But before we jump into there, thank you for coming back. Why was your workday brutal?
Well, I had no breaks today except one between my second to last and last. So I started at 8 and had clients from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, a break at 2, and then I had a 3. So when you text me earlier, I couldn't even respond. My mama had texted me. Granted, she's at the same house. My daddy texted me. You texted me. Lil Boo texted me.
I was like, what did I text you about? Forgot.
I was like, I can't even breathe. I can't even fart. I can't even get up to refill my water cup.
You know, I actually never thought about that. Like with clients, like you're just there. Like you can't even, because does that get picked up?
What?
The sound of farts? Like on the camera? You literally have to hold everything in. And I understand that because I had to pee today. I had 2 back-to-back meetings. I only had 2 meetings today, but 2 back-to-back ones. And I had the first meeting end up starting early, like by like 5 or 10 minutes. And I was going to go use the restroom before that meeting. So I had to hold it through that one. And I was supposed to have a 10-minute break in between those 2 meetings, but that meeting went over into the next one. So I had to hold my pee for 2 hours. And I was just sitting there. Luckily, I wasn't on camera, but I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah,
if you weren't on camera, why didn't you just get up and go pee?
You act like I was at home. I was at the office.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah.
We don't have restrooms at our desks.
I tried it in like my sessions around like 9. I say like at the 53 mark of the hour because we can't end it any shorter than that because then it won't like count as an hour. But
53?
I've got the 53 like minute mark of the hour. And so I'm pretty good at that. And that has been helpful, which is like literally me peeing after every session and or like I'll already have my
during each.
Look, I have this whole thing. I drink a gallon a day and I'll have my like coffee set up. And so I'll just press it to start so I can have it for the beginning of the next one. And so, I mean, I'm pretty good, but today some of my sessions like went to the 58, 56. 59. And I was like, you know what? I still got to go pee. So my next session didn't start to like the 02 or 03. But I was just like, I think obviously they're understanding because it's just like back to back to
I got a job too. No, yeah, I'm about to say that's funny that yours is 53. Mine be at like 50. We be in it right at that 50 mark. She be ready. Granted, so at where her thing. But also her where she's at now, she's on the 6th floor of this building, but you have to check in with security and she has to come and escort you up. So technically we be talking while we waiting on the elevator and stuff. So I'm like, okay, technically that's show 2 minutes because sometimes the elevator be taking forever. So I don't be, but again, insurance, So and now that I paid my deductible, I'm like, it's cheap, so we good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just.
Well, I'm glad you got to use the restroom. I'm sure your bladder thanks you.
Yes. Don't want to develop a UTI or anything like that. But other than that, today is my Friday. So
I wish.
Even though it was like, back to back, I was like, okay, I know saving grace is going to come. So, but going to your question earlier.
Huh? Oh, go. No. I was like, are you doing anything tomorrow?
I'm actually going to work. I'm going to do some notes. But I'm going to sleep in a little bit. And, my sleep in is not really sleep in.
So 7.
Maybe. But to your question earlier, you're like, can they hear? I don't think they can hear to the extent that I thought that they could, because obviously I'm at home and Bella is here.
Oh.
And when she likes to bring that little toy and she'll go,
that thing is still alive. The little green thing?
It's over there, yeah. The little bird. It's not alive. It's more so that when she puts it in her mouth, she makes that little, that throaty noise.
Yep, I do. Was that the first toy you bought her? It's been holding on that long?
The first toy that I bought her. So if y'all didn't know that, attachment is real, even in animals.
Oh, yeah.
Because I bought her many toys after that, and I just had to throw them away because she doesn't even care about them.
Because even the stick is
hair
gone.
ties. Yeah, the stick is on, the string is on, everything.
Before I got this new phone and I was trying to clear space in my iCloud stuff, I had videos from when you would go out of town and you'd leave me with Bella and I would send you those videos. And that one where she was going after that hair tie in the kitchen, I was like, oh, the good times. Good old Bella.
I stopped giving her hair ties after that one time. Remember, I had to cancel a session because I was so concerned about my baby.
Was she choking? Like dry heaving? Or?
No. She ate it.
But I remember that.
Scooting her butt on the carpet. And I was like, what? I was like, what is going on? Like scooting her butt on the carpet and then stopping and then putting her mouth to her butt. And I was like, what are you doing? And I looked and see a little black little thing hanging out her booty hole. And I said, at this moment, I knew that I was not meant to be a mother because I'm going to lose it.
Meanwhile, I was in my room having a mental fucking breakdown. I can laugh about it now. That was a destiny. Oh, I forgot about her doing that. Oh, well, I'm glad you learned your lesson about hair ties.
And she's staring at something right now, and I have no idea what it is, and it's making me nervous because
she likes gifts. She does. What is
Bella. Today, I really have no idea. Look. Do you see her?
Oh, it's out. She's staring at something outside.
No, she's not looking outside.
Can she see outside?
She's looking at my little.
They said the animals always know.
But I'm going like this and
she's not even acknowledging.
Hold on one second.
And now we wonder what she could watch. This like a G-net. And that's your bag? Like your little rolling cart that she was staring at? Your trunk?
My trunk. But you know what? I just put it down. I think maybe like a shadow or something she was looking at.
Is she still staring or she's adjusted?
She's looking all around it. Oh, child.
Single mother life.
It's hard out here. Now I see why they ask for child support because
it'd be brutal. You can't be trying to work and deal with your children in the background. She's moved now, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's behind me.
Okay.
You know what? Okay, off of Bella.
Right. What did the latest development in the story of TJ is we have officially found a sleeping pill that works.
I saw that on your Instagram, so I was going to ask about it.
And it increased my snoring, yes, which my snoring's always been. I think it's just the fact that I'm sleeping longer, so the snoring has increased, but the snoring's always been there. So yes, great. It's been working. This is the 4th day in a row, so it's consistently putting me to sleep within 45 minutes to an hour. Claps for that.
Good.
Round of applause. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, starting yesterday evening, when I got home, right at 4:00, I started feeling sick, but nausea. And when you can tell you're about to get sick, how your body starts to feel.
Yeah.
The weakness in the body or whatever. I felt that yesterday and I was like, oh no, I'm getting sick. So I took the meds a little bit early. I was like, let me just try and sleep it off. Woke up, it was fine. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I ate something wrong, blah, blah, blah. It happened again today. And I'm like, I haven't changed anything in my diet. Haven't done anything.
But
I'm like, please don't let this be the meds.
are you eating with it?
No, because it's at night. This is weird. It's happening at like 4 o'clock each day, 4 to 5. I don't take the meds until like 8 or 9 at night. So I'm like, I don't feel like the side effect would happen 24 hours after it's. She back there? No.
He's looking at something. I don't know if something went under the. I don't know.
Oh,
but I wonder
is that a
if
dresser there?
Yeah, there's a dresser. I wonder if it's because it's in your system, whether or not like you need to eat more food. You know what I'm saying? Like just period.
I wonder because I eat usual breakfast. I mean, that's excuse me. My eating schedule hasn't changed. I still eat breakfast around like 8, 9 o'clock. Lunch 1 to 2, and then I'll have dinner like around like 6 or 7. So maybe I'll try that again. I have another appointment with her next week because she wants to just do a week and a half follow up just to make sure, see if it was working since so many other things haven't. And so I'm like, okay, we're good. So I looked. It does say nausea is a symptom, but it was like it's not one of the common symptoms. So I'm like, of course, my ass will get the uncommon.
You're rare.
Symptom. I'm rare. I'm a rare breed. But I was like, I just took some Pepto too. But then I was like, I ate cereal, so I'm like, I'm sure milk didn't help it. But I feel better now. So I don't know, but I haven't taken it yet. I normally take it an hour before I'm ready to go to sleep. And on my little sleep app that I use, Sleep Cycle, shout out to Sleep Cycle. They've added guided meditations for sleep. Oh. And so I've been putting those on too. And her name is Michelle Baker, I think. Be putting me out. I was very happy about that. So that's been good. So I've been getting sleep and I'm very happy. So once we can tackle that portion of things, then we can focus on the ADHD because as you know, it feels like it got really dark behind me all of a sudden. As you know, the ADHD meds were not doing the ADHD meds were sending me down some bad paths. So so we're off of that and we're back to ourselves. Woo!
We're back to our normal, unable to concentrate now.
You know what? I honestly would rather that than what I was dealing with. So I'm not even mad. Sorry, I'm about to turn this lamp on because I feel like I'm sitting in the dark. And that just looks weird, right? Office. Ooh, oh.
Slightly.
It says no response, so we'll have to wait. Anyway, I was trying to control it from my phone, but it wasn't giving me the thing. I'm going to back away. I always forget, like, even though this is being recorded, like
I was about to say, then you know that it's about to be...
nighttime?
Oh, I thought it was gonna whatchamacallit.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I didn't want to move. But hey, I can see clearly now. I can't see you as clearly, but I think that's just because it always does that. It's not that it's blurry, it's just the resolution. But anyway, one of the things that I want to talk about, what are your thoughts on spinning the block? And this isn't the reason why you think that I'm asking. Oh, look, I started swaying and now I went blue.
Yeah, you did. Spinning the block on what?
Let's both in relationship, sex relationships, and friendships. And this is a shoot the shit episode, y'all ain't got no time. Oh, I'm clear. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Who? Oh, obviously Bella. Who else would?
This is what she does in the middle of my session. She's about to make herself known.
Yep, there she goes.
Ass all.
That's hilarious. All we saw was her tail, though. Oh, it was funny. Yesterday morning when I was going to work, I was getting in my car and I saw a cat on the other side of the thing, and it looked just like Bella. And I was like, "Wait,
my baby doll."
I was like, did Bella escape and follow her scent to my apartment thinking she was here? Because, you might have been at somebody's house. Who knows? Oh, which is a great segue into the question that I was asking.
So, well, as me being single, when it comes to romantic relationships, I'm all for it because... And I feel like a lot of people have this kind of same like mentality. Maybe I'm just line, but I think a lot of people do. Huh?
That was like a statistic, but you said maybe I'm just a whoop.
But I feel like a lot of people would rather, if they're single and you're wanting stuff or whatever the case may be, like rather just go for what they know than find something new because it comes with so many other things. So when it comes to spinning a block on like relationship wise, I'm all for it because I'm not about to go down the rabbit hole, learn somebody new or whatever the case may be, because I frankly don't have the energy nor the desire or anything like that. Now, granted, am I doing that now? No. Okay, let's be clear.
Period.
I'm not. I am learning myself and just,
living life. What did Kourtney Kardashian say? I'm just in the what did Kourtney Kardashian say? I'm just
here to live life.
No, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said. I'm just here to live life. We're just living life. Something like that. Anyways.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But yeah, so in romantic relationships, cool. Yeah. Friendship wise, I honestly think I would be for it too. Have I done that? No, because I don't think there was a friendship that I had to like spin the block on. I think there was just like natural lulls in friendship interactions.
Great. What grew? When was this?
Yes,
no, I agree. I'm mad that got delayed again.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think I have too much to talk to when it comes to. Okay, Bella.
Bella does. Bella obviously does.
When it comes to like friendship, I mean, I'm gonna lose it.
But the crazy part is, I don't see her.
Yeah, because she just like walked this way, and she.
You are her jungle gym. That's funny. Interesting. That is an interesting take. Look at it. My thought.
Oh, you became clearer.
I know, right? I can't see clear. I'm gonna stop singing that every time that comes up. Oh, I can't. I forgot not to move too far. Relationship wise, I think I'm more. Sorry, the Fruit Loop was in my throat. I think.
Was it?
I think that is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Especially in the relationship aspect, yes, that's slippery slope because I don't know about it. Haven't determined, not going through that currently or anything like that. Just saying. Sex relationship, yes, that might be a occurrence.
Okay, and I think that's what I needed to clarify earlier because relationships, no, not really. But when it comes to relationships,
maybe
so. Because that's what I mean. Don't add nobody new to your roster. Because for what? Like,
because in the words of Chloe Bailey, Chloe. What did I just say? Her last name was Bailey. Bailey.
Yeah, I know her.
Oh yeah, she on that show doing that thing about those people. Right. She, the prophet Chloe Bailey said, I can't trust you, but I can trust what their body do. So that's kind of the there. And this is two different scenarios. I'll tell you about the other offline. Friendship wise, I don't know. And that's one of the things remember I was saying. There's Bella. Hey, buddy. Opens it. I go that way. And going back to the previous statement about, the ADHD quote unquote meds that I was on and how it was numbing me. And so talking to my therapist, and she was like, oh yeah, you didn't seem to be affected by the situation, the friendship situation. And I was like, oh yeah. So now that I'm coming out of the drugs and thinking more clearly, I was like thinking about it, and I actually want to talk about it in my next session with her. But then obviously, what I text you about today, and I'm just like, was that what that, And so I'm like, I don't know. And so I'm like, I'm thinking, because even when I had the conversation with my therapist, I was like, I don't feel like it's worth it, to have the conversation, because how things.
So clarification, you guys, from listeners. So what he was talking about in regards to today, it was friend relationships, spinning the block.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Let's get that. Let's nip that in the bud real quick. So I'm like, I don't know. I'll sleep on it. I'll pray on it since I'm getting good sleep. And then I'll talk with my therapist and see. I don't know. Don't know if that opportunity shall present itself again to see. But again, we are there. So yeah, my spinning the block. I actually was thinking about bringing this up before what happened today, because I was like, some things, but yeah, I was like, interesting. I wonder what Natalie's take is on this, because spinning the block, what a concept, what a verbiage, what a phrase.
Obviously, when we were living together, absolutely, like
you was on a merry-go-round, Joe. That wasn't spinning the block. That's merry-go-fucking-round. Or in the words of your favorite group, we go all around the world. We go all around the world.
Nobody knows.
Literally. Mm-hmm.
No,
but it seems like now you're telling Jackal Johnson that Cheetah Girls are available. That's what it seems like. I saw his funny, I don't know if it was on Twitter or Instagram. Somebody interviewed Sabrina, the white girl. I don't know which one she was. What was her name in there? There we go. They interviewed her and she was like, I would absolutely be open to making another movie. I'd love to get the girls back together. I was like, what could y'all possibly be doing? What is this? Cheetah Girls One Retirement Home?
Because Raven, for one, looks completely different to Valeria. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian
Very
Bailoff.
different. What was she saying that on? That made us say that? Oh, what's the one with Vinny and Polly? Vinny and Polly's thing, wasn't it? Didn't she do the reunions for whatever Vinny and Polly's dating show?
Double Shot at Love.
No, that's Tequila.
No, Double Shot at Love is Vinny and Polly, because they both were doing love.
Did they just reboot that with them? Because Tila Tequila was a double shot of love with Tila Tequila. Do you remember that back in the day?
I do remember Tila's Tequila, but I don't remember what it exactly was called.
That is hilarious. Maybe it wasn't rebooted. Anyway, yes, so Miss Adrienne Bailon and Keely. The last time we saw her, she was on, what was that show on BET? Encore. Where it's like it brought all the old girl group members back and tried to make a thingy, and she was the quote unquote creative director. Hilarious.
But don't they not get along? Adrienne Bailon.
No, that I don't know. I know that what's her name? Her and Notori don't get along because that's the whole KFC bucket. Like they threw fried chicken, or she threw fried chicken at her. But I don't know if I know they squashed their thing because she was on The Real back when that came back on. But Raven too. I guess Keely, maybe she is the only one that's weird. I don't know. But I know Raven and Keely talk because that's where that meme came from, of Raven eating that peanut butter jelly sandwich and just yeah. So I don't know. But that would be interesting to see what that looks, especially because Raven wasn't in the last movie. And I don't think I ever saw that one either. Because after the second one, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. But yes. Have you listened to Beyonce's album?
I knew you were going to ask that.
I know you haven't. I'm going to need you to get with the culture, Natalie Patrice.
Okay, so literally just yesterday, I put on in the car, because I have been seeing like snippets of things here and there. And so I put on in the car the one with Miley Cyrus. And I like it. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but I do like it.
Because it's whiskey.
He always...
Your father knows.
I swear.
He knows when we're recording. He knows.
Swear. Every time.
It's like his sixth sense. He has like a sixth sense for your fun. Does he call you when you were a little boo too?
No.
Oh, so it's just me. Goddamn. It's just me. That's hilarious.
But so I listened to that song. It was like, but I'm not in it for like slow songs. But I like their voices together. I do like it. And I saw a TikTok where it was like, look at that song through the lens of like your relationship with you and your best friend. And I was like,
I
was like, twin, where have you been?
Nobody. Okay, I'm gonna stop telling you. How's twin?
Huh? Oh. Let me finish my thoughts, TJ.
Sorry, twin. I'll try.
So, and then I listened to part of Jolene, which obviously I've heard Jolene many times before. So I didn't finish it all. But honestly, that's to the extent that I've listened to the album. And I've honestly been listening to TikToks about it a little bit more. I love how white people get on the platform and be like, I really didn't like it. It's just not my preference. I'm going to have to send it to you because another lady, white, she posted on TikTok and she was just like, speaking about how people are getting on the platform and doing that. And she explained it so well and it made me rewatch the movie again. So she explained it in comparison to Get Out, how when Get Out came out, it was like promoted as like a thriller, horror movie, blah, 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 this and that. And she said she went to watch it and she was like, oh, it was okay. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was scary. Like, it was fine. And she said one of her close friends commented on, her post and was just like, shared some knowledge. Like, have you seen it through the lens of this and blah, 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 this and that. And she was like, I was thinking of that. And so that's what she was basically.
Not a back.
She was like, basically, that's what she was saying in regards to people viewing, this Cowboy Carter album. And yes, I've watched Get Out for the 6th time at this point. I love that movie. Wow. I really do.
I don't think I've ever seen it twice. I know I saw it once. I don't know if I've seen it twice. It's his movies or movies that is Bella again.
No, it's you.
Oh, me. Oh, yeah. No, I feel like those are one of those all of Jordan Peele's movies because I've only seen Us once. I've only seen Nope once, and that was actually recently. I think Nope was the only movie of his that I didn't see in theaters because I still never because it was very polarizing and it also didn't come out during COVID maybe around that time.
I've never watched Nope, and I have no desire to watch Nope because I thought it was a little bit different. But Us, I've only seen twice. But Get Out, that's the one that I've watched a million times.
Yeah, no, Nope was okay. I don't think it was my least favorite of the 3. I think Us might have been my favorite one because that was actually creepy to me. I think Us was more horror than Get Out, and I think Us
it was so great.
Us. Get Out was more blatantly like to us. We knew what it was about. It was like blatantly like, oh yeah, but Us was actually scary. And I didn't understand what the hell the meaning of it was for a very long time.
Yeah.
But Get Out, I understood
why I don't like it. Because, not that I don't like it, but like I didn't understand it for a while with Get Out. It was like instantly like, oh, I see what y'all talking about.
Yeah. But see, sometimes I don't be wanting to think. Which is weird because then I would understand Get Out. So no, sometimes I do want to think. I want to be like, what's going on? What? Whereas, like I said, Get Out was in my face. But still, great movies. Great movies. Especially, what was her name? The white girl, the girlfriend, Allison. What? Did you ever watch Mea Culpa? The reason that I brought that up because I was thinking about how the girlfriend played dumb until the end. And then I thought about Mea Culpa when they were playing dumb until the end. And I was like, and the sad part about it is the plot of Mea Culpa is great in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
It's but like when it first started, it's like when you first started, you're like, I can see where this is going.
Right.
But then somewhere along the way, he decided to take too many right turns and he didn't end up left. He left me. And I don't understand what... but all of his movies are like that, except
which one?
Family That Prays. Because that movie was great with Sanaa Lathan. That one and
that's the one that I've watched, but not really watched. So I probably need to watch again.
That love one's good.
Temptation. Oh my god!
I did see that. I've only seen that once. That's who's the main lady? Is that Taraji? Oh, it's Journey. No. Yeah, that's the one about she's a lawyer.
And then Lance Gross.
And the bad guy is who's the villain?
I don't know.
Is Lance Gross the villain?
No, Lance Gross is her husband.
Right, but it's a light skinned guy that's the
villain.
He's dark skin.
He's like brown skin.
It's not Kofi, is it?
No.
From Girls Trip. And what's that show you used to watch? Queen Sugar.
Queen
Sugar
Sugar.
Cane.
Yeah, no, it's not him. He's brown, like brown skin, bald head, but I forgot his name. Oh, actually, I don't know his name.
Yes. I do know who you're talking. I see him now. I see him in I did see that one, but I think I've only seen it once. And I don't know, it was a Tyler movie to me. But The Family That Prays was a really good one. There was one other Tyler Perry movie that was actually good. Oh, the Why Did I Get Married? Those were good movies.
Oh, those are great. Yeah.
The first one and the second. I'm almost pissed they didn't make a third one because I'm like, you had something good going, Tyler. Keep it going. And then he decided every good thing he met, he just because don't know how you stayed invested in Sisters, if I'm being honest.
You know what?
You still watch it?
Back up on it, and I think I'm just like a slight bit behind. But you know, they made a spin-off with
Zatima.
Zach and Fatima. Yeah, and so
because somebody killed somebody. Isn't Zach's like ex-girlfriend? Didn't she kill somebody? What was her name? Rachel. Why everybody Rachel to me? Her name was Karen.
Oh,
her name was Karen.
I don't know.
I thought it said she killed somebody.
Look, I moved the little thingy, and I moved it down.
I don't see Bella though.
Do you not see
her? She's not in camera. There she go. What is she looking at?
I have no idea.
Did you move the curtain?
No, I moved that thing.
The bag, the thing you
cart down. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it looks like she's standing in the corner of between the dresser and the curtain.
And she's looking down.
I don't know what to say.
I think she's just looking at the. Yeah, I'm about to put the whole car outside along with her.
Throw the whole thing away.
The whole thing away.
The whole thing, including Bella. Yeah, but no, those were good movies. Good old Tyler. But yeah, Mea Culpa was terrible. And I'm trying to think of what shows have you been keeping up with Abbott?
So I put it on the other day from start because I was like, let me just rewatch all of them. But then I didn't even pay attention. I was doing other stuff. So I need to do it again. So no.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I was on Instagram earlier, and today I haven't watched any of this season of Grey's, and I don't think I finished last season. I think I had 2 episodes left, but this episode, which is either the 3rd and 4th of this season, Arizona comes back, but only for 1 episode. And
but Arizona Meredith came back.
Did she? This season?
So my mom was sitting in here with me earlier, last night, and she was like, just turn on Grey's. And she was like, Meredith came back. And I said,
she was only gone for half a season.
She was like, they couldn't, make the show without Meredith. That's just
because
crazy.
I remember when she quote unquote left, it was supposed to be because she was working on another show. And so scheduling conflicts. So they wrote her out. But even did you ever get to the episode where she says goodbye?
No, I don't think, because wasn't that season 18? Because they're on 20 now.
Was there a whole season without her?
I thought so.
Yes, it was. She left at the end of maybe 18, but then she narrated still season 19. And this is season 20. But it was weird because at the finale, it wasn't how when normal characters say goodbye, it's this big ordeal. It wasn't that. So I was like, she ain't going no goddamn well. Because I'm like, if they get rid of her, she needs to die or something. Because what? But they have been bringing back people quite frequently. Because somebody else came back last season, but I don't remember who it was. And then now Arizona is coming back for an episode.
Altman.
She been there.
Oh, she has. She never left.
She married to Owen.
Yeah, Owen's still in there.
Kepner. Kepner came back whenever it was time for Jesse Williams, whose name was what's his name on the damn show?
Avery.
Yeah, Jackson. When he left, she came back, and then they end up leaving together because they have a kid. And then they brought Robbins. Somebody else came back. Oh well. Anyway, but yes. So they've been doing that. So I'm like, but they just got renewed for season 21. So I'm like, you know what? Just keep it going. Because honestly, SVU has been on for 25, 26 seasons. And I still love every episode of Law & Order SVU. It never gets old.
I would like to say I feel like that's different, but I guess it isn't any different.
Especially like because soap operas be going for 50 years.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's not any different.
It definitely hasn't been the same as it used to be in the heyday of
Yeah.
it. But apparently, season 21, there's a new showrunner. So they're getting like a new person that actually runs the show. Shonda still created it, but she stepped away after she went to Netflix to start working on Bridgerton. But there's a new showrunner, so I'm wondering if maybe things are gonna start, picking back up because I do miss the heyday of Grey's. It was good when it was good.
It was really
but
good.
Now they're like introducing all these new interns and all that fun stuff. Because now the interns live in Meredith's house. Oh yeah, that's how. Do they live in Meredith's house? Meredith's house burned down, and that's why she leaves. And I think they repair the house and she gives it to the interns because remember when Grace first started, it was Meredith, Alex, Christina. Izzy, and who was the other one? Karev. Oh, I said Alex, didn't I? Meredith, Alex, George, Izzy, and Christina. They all lived in the house. And so now they fixed. So now the new 5 interns are living in the house, and it's like restarting the. But I haven't watched it to see what's actually going on. So there's that. Oh, Bella's back. Maybe you should check. Let's take a break and maybe something wrong because he double calling. So we'll be right back. Now he's gonna go talk to Hafaja, and we will be right back.
You guys, the fire alarm that my dad pulled was false.
Yeah, false alarm. You made a joke of that.
It literally answer and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" Recording with TJ. Oh, I just haven't heard from you. Oh, you didn't get the text message that I sent back to you earlier? No, because you didn't respond to that. And so he was like, okay, well, I'll just catch me when you have some free time. Okay.
Normally in my free time, I try to keep that to myself. But okay, I'll try to pencil you in.
He said, I haven't heard from you. I literally just saw him. I feel like
you started off this episode saying you had a text from your mama, from your daddy, from me. So apparently he heard something from you. Just not enough. He misses you.
But my thing is, I feel like because like I'm home, like he, not that he expects. Because actually, when I was living in Houston, I felt like he called me pretty often, obviously during our session.
Yep.
But
not you like, calling these sessions. Am I that bad? Well.
During our recording sessions,
we're musicians.
You know,
there it goes.
Oh, it's back.
But yeah, that's gonna lead to the lift.
Basically, there was not an emergency. He's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sorry for listeners that you had to go through thinking that there was an emergency.
And I'm sure they had to use the restroom too.
The real emergency was Bella, but now she is on the couch asleep. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad you rubbed her like 5 times and it hit that magical.
And I just keep looking to see if anything comes out because it's springtime and she likes to bring little treats for her lovely owner in here.
So we had a health fair, an amenities fair I put together 2 or so weeks ago, and our health club, the benefits people had these stress balls because for stress management, and their little avocados.
Oh, that's cute. Does the pit come out? Oh.
I love this little thing. I'll be just walking around like, sorry. Maybe I'm really debating on now that we are officially into now having to record bi-weekly since we don't have any batch, like putting these on YouTube, so people may see these. I don't know. We'll see how I feel.
Well, next month. is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is. So we should have an episode every week. It was funny. I was so worried when we first started recording like this. I was like, what if it's not the same? Sure.
It's the exact same, because now when I go see you, it's like, oh, we could just hang out.
Go drink.
But my mom said, she was saying it earlier. She was like, it sounds so much better. Like the sound quality. Yeah. With us recording separately.
And as I've been now getting over my fear and actually listening to the episodes,
I'm not doing it.
Learning. I know. I'm learning, like, I talk fast, which I knew this, but I didn't realize how fast it comes off. But you don't.
I don't?
When I listen back, no. And then sometimes I'll like whisper something like this, and I'm like, oh, they can't even hear that. And it just like a stomach growl. Anyway, we were talking about a bunch of stuff, but I never answered. Yes, I love Beyonce's album. I did not like it much at first because I listened to it the day it came out, but I was heading to get my nails done. So I listened to it a little bit in the car, and the first couple songs are slower, and I was like, okay. And they're more traditional-ish country. And I was like,
you
okay.
listen to like the album in chronological order?
Of course, you have to listen to the albums in chronological order. In the order, there's always a reason. I did. I got it Monday.
Monday.
That. Well, for them, it will be Monday because this will come out on Wednesday, and it's the Monday before that. Anyway, so I listened to it on the way to get my nails done, and that's only a 20-minute drive. So I only got to like the first 4-5 songs. And then I was in the nails, they were doing my nails, so I was listening. But then, they like talking to you too and asking questions. So I wasn't really like, but I got through the whole thing while I was there. But then I had to drive to get Reiki, which I will talk about. Yeah. And that was a literal 45-minute drive. And then I had to wait a little bit because she said she was running late. So I got through almost the whole album while driving. And I was like, okay. And then I listened to it maybe one more time that night, and I was like, okay, because it's an hour and 22 minutes. It's a long album because it's 22 or 23 songs, whatever.
Nice.
But then I didn't listen to it Saturday because I literally stayed in bed all day Saturday, and then Sunday I listened to it again while I was cleaning, and I was like, okay, and then I listened to it when I got my vinyl. So yes, I like it. I don't have a favorite song yet. There's a lot of good ones on there that I actually really like, and I was surprised because I'm a country-esque fan. Like, I like a good Carrie Underwood, Maren Morris moment. But, like, as far as traditional country, that ain't never been my thing. Except for, what's that song? Lock the doors and turn the lights down low. I like that song, but only because they'll play it out like at a bar when it's time to close. Yeah. See? So yeah, no, I actually really, really enjoyed the album. It was good. Yeah, it grew on me. I had to make sure it went down properly. And there was something else that I wanted to talk about before I got into the last thing that I want to talk about. What was it? I don't remember. We were talking about music. What show were we talking about before your daddy called? We weren't still on Grace. We were on something else. I thought we went away from Grace.
No, we were at Grace. I thought
we were still at Grace.
And we talked about Abbott, and I was like, I hadn't watched it yet.
I think I'm behind an episode of Abbott. Did you ever watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Mm-hmm.
I finally finished it. Maybe last weekend, the weekend that you were here. Oh shit, that was.
I loved all of it.
So it was really good, and I'm wondering because they didn't say it was a limited series, so I'm wondering if it's gonna be new Smiths each. Or do you think they didn't die?
I don't think they did die. No, I feel like they're gonna continue from that.
But my thing was, remember, spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen it, remember how when they were at the end and she said she only had one bullet left? There were multiple shots fired at the thing. So, but it is very, they don't give you a real closure, but I'm just like, I wonder. But it was really good. It started off kind of slow, but I like the dry humor of it. But when it got to it, it was really, really good. And I was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're putting down.
On the topic of media, I put on like shows just to like help me to like do my notes and whatever.
Which is crazy to me.
And I'm not a huge fan of documentaries. Like, I don't like docuseries. I don't really like all of that good stuff. On Max, you guys, hear me out.
What
It's
is it?
called Mean Girl Murders.
You recommended that for me.
Basically, like Fatal Attraction or Snapped or all that good stuff, but like it's kind of like girl on girl jealousy type action that ends fatally.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, I've watched all of season 1. I'm all caught up on season 2. There's only 2 episodes on season 2, and there's only 7 episodes on season 1. But I've watched
that's
it
nothing
all
for you.
that's what's I've been doing my notes, and I just be looking up, and I'd be like,
so I watched something this. Oh, Jared Carmichael, which I don't know if you know, he's a comedian. He has a reality show that came out. It only has 1 episode so far. I think it just came out Friday. Yeah, whatever. I watched that. And then for some reason, I guess because I watched the thing that I want to talk about next, it recommended a show called Evil Lives Here. And it's documentaries like that too.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I didn't watch it, but then I looked through the episodes and saw different ones. And it's documentary style, but obviously it's about like heinous shit that people are doing to people and killing and stuff. And so I was intrigued, but it was late and I didn't want to watch it by myself. So that's something I'm gonna have to watch in the morning time.
You should watch Mean Girl Murders because most of them, not to my surprise, but to my surprise, are in Texas. Well, obviously, all of them are white. I think there's only one that I came across that was black.
They all in Texas. Well, goddamn.
And the one that was black was in Tennessee.
Oh, okay, of course. Did I ever tell you about watching the docu series? Gosh, what was it called? Love Wins: The Cult of Mother God.
Is that the one that they pray to, for lack of better words, like celebrities?
Kind of, yes. That was like Robin Williams.
No, I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my! It's only 4 parts, I think. It's only It's a 4-part thing, but whoa! And I've never been. I know you're more fascinated with cults than I am, but that shit intrigued the hell out of me because people really be blind, and it's like to the detriment of their health, and they really don't care, and they just be blindly following these people. And I'm like, that is insane. Another
thing. So on TikTok, I came across a mess. No, not Risa Tisa. It was I forgot her name, Violet or something, but it was called like. It was
the one you showed me. Who the fuck did I give birth to?
It was a cult. And I think his name was like Flower Boy or something to that extent. Nature Boy.
Yes. The one. What was it called?
Never familiar with Nature Boy. And then I think her name is Violet. I think that was his most recent.
He in jail. Wife. He just got in. What's that word called?
Indicted.
Thank you. That's close enough to what I was going for.
Well, so I saw a snippet of her interview with somebody on.
Because people are talking out now.
And then so I saw it on TikTok, and it was like, watch the whole interview on something on YouTube. Boop, 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 boop. Put it on YouTube. Watch the whole hour and such minutes, and I was like.
No, that's crazy. Because they talked about it on a podcast that I listened to, and so that's when I went and like started looking at stuff. And I remember this because it's relatively recent. The only reason that I remember it was like what 2018, 2019 is around the time that was. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only reason that I remember it is because his name was Nature Boy, and when all this stuff was coming out, there used to be a Instagram content creator, Nature Boy, with animals, and they were talking about Nature Boy doing, and everybody was like, not the nigga hugging giraffes and shit. And it ended up being a whole, obviously a different, but no, it's a different one. No, there's Nature Boy that actually does deal with animals, but then there's this guy he's also Nature Boy, like, but does
like nature and like grounding and all that.
And had them like in different countries living off stuff. He was abusive.
When she escaped, they were in
Puerto Rico, probably.
Puerto Rico. I think it was Puerto Rico.
They were down to Mexico. Yeah. And it's funny because they like they said they tried to come back because it was kind of like in the Cult of Mother God too. They had they went to Hawaii because they were in the States for the Cult of Mother God, but then they went to Hawaii for some part because they said she needed to be closer to water so she could ascend or whatever. But they were still doing their videos on live. And people in Hawaii were like, oh, hell no, don't bring that shit here. So they literally got thrown out of Hawaii. The same thing happened to the Nature Boy guy, except they stunk so bad they wouldn't let them on a plane. On Spirit.
How are you
because they didn't bathe.
Spirit?
Thank you. It's I said it got to be bad if that's the case. But no, I did see that. Now I don't know if there's a documentary on that, but I have gotten intrigued in cults because the only first person I knew that liked cults was you with the Waco one when we lived.
I loved it.
Were you in the apartments then, or were we at the house when you started watching the Waco one?
I think I was in the house.
Okay, yes, but then American Horror Story did a season on cults, and that's when they did the Jonestown. They kind of played off on that, and I remember that. But then you watched the Waco one. But that first one, the cult of no, the first culty one I watched was
Remember the show
one about the
that
students?
I used to watch? Starts with an F. It's a show. It's a great show. It's like 3 seasons.
Oh yes, with that guy. Not Kevin Bacon.
Yes. What is it called?
Yes, I did watch it. I think I only watched the first 2 seasons.
Such a great series.
Oh man. Yes, because that came out when we were in college.
Where?
Right? That came out in college?
I think
that was relatively old.
And I want to rewatch it, but I can't find it anywhere. But that was a great series.
Because wasn't he like a detective that was investigating all the cults?
Yes.
Was it called Cult?
No. It was called...
Look, I'm about to look it up because I know it's Kevin Bacon. I know he was the main
but then there was another series that we watched.
The Following.
The Following.
The Following. Yes.
Such a great series.
That was so good. And I think I only watched the first 2 seasons because then I'm always weird when I found out a show is about to get canceled or it got canceled. I don't like watching because I don't want it to be over. So like now I can go back and rewatch it and it's like, it's new again.
Yeah. What is the one that we watched that the 3rd season was cult-like? What was
American Horror Story had a cult season.
No, it was with Justin Timberlake's wife, Jessica Biel.
Oh, The Sinner. The Sinner.
Yeah.
And I never watched
the 3rd season, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because the first season was the one with her. The second season, or was it season 2? How many seasons of that were there?
I think there was 4.
And I didn't watch the last one.
I watched the last one. The last one was good.
No,
but
I think that might have been season 2. Because I remember season 3 had Matt Bomer. That was the one where something about it in a car. They flipped the car. He flipped the car, but then the lady was in that shack thing painting something. That's the last season I remember.
So then it might have been season 2 then.
But yeah, because it was the girl
the lady that was kind of like the mom of the group.
Pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that pig more sacrifice?
Y'all, if y'all want to watch anything cult related, me and TJ just gave y'all a whole host.
A smorgasbord of things. And what's the other one that we were watching? Oh, well, this isn't cult. Yes, it is. No, it's not cult. It's just creepy. The Servant. That was a great show with Leanne Ass.
Yeah, that was a great show.
That was a great little show. You gotta really
pay attention to it, but
it's on Apple TV. That was a good. Oh, I hate that that's over. I saw that he's putting out he has a movie coming out. When I was going to the movies, I saw the trailer, and I don't know what it was, but I was like, I'm here. M. Night Shyamalan. He has another movie coming out, and it's so good. It looked good from the preview, and it has is it Amy Adams? And I love the movie with Amy Adams because she plays a good unaware person. Like she has that look on her face. I don't know what it was, but it's something where these people, it's like 5 or 6 people, and they're just in this glass. It's not all glass. It's like concrete on 3 sides and glass on 1 side. And they can't see out, but whatever's outside can see in. And so something is watching them and they can feel it, but they don't know what. But it only comes at night. So during the daytime, they go outside, but they start doing dumb shit because you know what white people do. They start looking for what it is. Yeah. because I would have just stayed in the damn room, if I'm being honest. Because the things from the preview, they can't get in, but we don't know what it is or anything like that. But they start doing the things where like people start getting taken, and you see that thing. That looked good. That looked good.
Well, I'm going to go see The First Omen. It's the movie, the new movie with Sydney Sweeney. You know, I love a good.
Is that what that's called?
The First
There's
Omen.
another movie.
Immaculate.
Similar. Thank you.
I think that's hers. The one that
That's hers. Okay, but there is one called The First Omen.
I don't know which one I'm seeing. One of them comes out like this Friday. I'm gonna see it Sunday morning.
Who are you gonna see it with? Let's see. The first, I think Sydney Sweeney is in Immaculate. Where have you been? Nobody. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney's in Immaculate. Leanne is in The First Omen.
Leanne?
I'm pretty sure this is her.
From Servant?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, she's the main character in The First Omen. So you already know that's... Was that Bella? Oh, that was you. Yes. So I do want to see that. There was another movie called Abigail that's coming out that has Homegirl from Scream in it. Where it's like her and her friends kidnap, like that. I don't know what exactly they do, but excuse me, because they're kidnapping some little girl for ransom, but it turns out the little girl is a vampire. That is Leanne. I didn't recognize that was Leanne. She looks really different. Mm-hmm.
She does. That's about to be good. As we were just talking about this.
Yep. Oh, Abigail. Yeah. It has Angus from Euphoria Angus in it as well. It's his last movie. I know. But it also has like I said, Melissa Barrera from Scream, Sam Carpenter, the main girl. And Giancarlo, which he's from, you watched something with him and I don't know. But basically they're supposed to kidnap this girl for ransom, this millionaire's daughter. And then they are supposed to bring her to this place, this house or whatever. But then when they bring her to the house, they're supposed to just leave her. But before they can leave, like whoever is in control of this thing locks them in. And it turns out she's a vampire. So she starts like killing them.
Yeah. Yes, it was a little girl. Yes. I seen the trailer for that. I don't know where I seen it for. But yes, I seen that. And it looks stupid, but I'm going to watch it.
I am too, because I'm like, because it's like one of those horror comedy-esque things, almost like Scream, I guess. Because Scream be having some funny parts in it, but yes, that
nostalgic, like
it is. Do you see they're making another one? And Sydney's back. Sydney Prescott is coming back because they fired all the others.
All of them.
And I think I saw something that Courtney Cox, Gail, she's in talks to return too. So I was like, okay, they're bringing the original. But after the whole controversy from them firing Sam and then Jenna not coming back, I'm pretty sure this has to be the last one. Because remember the reason that what's her name, Neve Campbell didn't come back was because they wouldn't pay her what she wanted, and so she was like, well, I'm just not gonna do it. So now for her to be back, I know she came back, I want all of this money, and it needs to end with me. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because it's 7 movies, but the person that wrote the first Scream is coming back to write this script as well. So hopefully that'll be good, because that was the first Scream still pulls on the heartstrings.
What is his name? Is it Wes Craven, or is that the person?
No, that was the director. That's the director. He's dead. He died.
Oh, really?
He died after Scream. That's why there was such a long gap between Scream 4 and 5, because he passed, and that was like he directed all the other ones because it was kind of his baby, and so it took a while for them to find. But now the original script writer is coming back, so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's exciting. But while we're on this, and I remember I told you I was going to make this a complete episode, but I don't want to wait because strike while the iron is hot. So, trigger warning for all you people out there. And I know you've watched it, and we haven't watched the newest episode. Or did you watch the newest episode that came out this week for Quiet on Set?
I went up to it today. I've watched all of them. There's only 4.
There's a 5th one that maybe it hasn't. Maybe I thought it said it came out Monday, April 8th. I looked at it earlier
today, and it's not on there.
So maybe it is April 8th. Oh, it comes out on the 7th. So Sunday. It comes out Sunday. So there isn't a way to watch it. And I was going to wait until after that, but then I forgot we have the other episode scheduled for after this already. So I was like, I don't want to wait a month to talk about it. So that, which is why I said trigger warning. If you have not watched Quiet on Set or don't know what Quiet on Set is, people, listeners out there in America and wherever else you listen, it is about Nickelodeon, which nostalgia ultra for us around that age, about Dan Schneider, who was the showrunner for a lot of shows like All That, The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, what else? Zoe 101, Victorious, all the iconic Nickelodeon shows, and all of the misconduct. Oh yeah. All the misconduct that happened on the set of his shows. Now, he isn't necessarily responsible in the sense of doing things, besides the gender discrimination.
I feel like it was centered around Dan Schneider, but a lot of it had to do with a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm. It's centered around the toxic work environment that he allowed. More so that. Because, I mean, the first episode does go into... So it is a 4-part thing, and there is a 5th episode coming out, which will be out by the time this episode comes out. But, obviously, we aren't that famous, so we don't get first access to shit. But the first episode kind of is mainly centered around just Dan Schneider, and it talks about the people that have worked with him, like those 2 ladies who were saying... Which, that blew my mind. And I guess the 90s was a different time. But the fact that they had to... It was just, like, terrible. But the fact they had to share salaries... That's crazy.
But that's not far off from today's society. What blew me was the fact that, like, he requested that
massages.
One lady. No, he requested massages, but requested the one lady to, like, do like a sexual kind of act,
like she was getting, sodomized. That's the word. I was trying to think of what I was saying at all. That was crazy.
Absolute nerve, because in today,
people would have objected.
You would have been cursed out, and I would have walked out.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that. So,
and it's funny because going back to that same lady and the only other lady in the writer's room on the shows, and this was during All That, right? All That, the early years, they were on those,
the beginning,
And then I think Amanda Show, were they on the Amanda Show too? Or was that after the one lady left?
One of them came back.
Right.
One of them was fired.
I was looking at... because yes, they had to share salaries this week. Literally, you saw about the conjoined twins that
got married.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know how that works because it said one of them got married. I don't know how that works, but I was reading something that it literally said
salary. Oh Lord Jesus, take that out.
Wait, what?
I said that's a joint salary. Take that out.
No, that's literally what I was saying. They made them, when they went to college, pay 2 separate tuitions, but they only get one salary now in the corporate world. And I was like, what kind of anyway, and so this is sad. I was like, I guess they do have 2 brains, so I guess they could be learned. But I'm like, no, because they had to major in the same thing. Because it's not like you can be like, I'm gonna go to this class.
Exactly.
But back to them. And that, so the first episode, it didn't blow my mind until the end when the lady said about the sodomized thing. And I was like, because I mean, obviously being a man and being around in corporate world, niggas gonna nigga. Even non-niggas, white wiggers, they are that way too, even in corporate. Because like I said, I was in sales, so I know how the man. So that didn't like blow me because that's how they talk. The reenacting the skit, whoa, that was crazy. So that's the only part of that episode that really got me, because we know that people going, like, one of the girls was like how there can only be one fat one. That is pretty common, sadly, that people are like that. Not making it right, but it happens. Episode 2, whenever they started talking about the black people and some of the jokes that they were doing with them, and it's crazy because when we were young, we don't know that. Like, we didn't even realize that, but looking back, I'm like,
have a naive mind because we're kids.
Yep. Children.
But like, it was geared towards the adults.
And it's crazy because even watching, like, as we got older, like in our early, I guess, tween is what they call it, watching SpongeBob, though we noticed the weird jokes, but it's a cartoon. So it's not like a person, but it's still geared at children. But we noticed them. But to think that back when we were young, that was still taking place blows my mind.
So side note onto SpongeBob, I literally had one of my clients earlier this week was talking about drug related stuff, and they were like referring to the episode of SpongeBob when Patrick was telling SpongeBob about like the hooks, remember?
Yes.
And he was like, you just pick which one, and you go up, and there's an immediate high, and then you slowly come down. And she was like,
but there's also
that, and I was like,
but there's also the episode of SpongeBob where they would they popped some kind of candy, and then they would have a party, and the strobe lights would come on, and I'm like, they're doing fucking ecstasy. They're doing, because it was when the jellyfish came in, and they would turn on the music, and everybody would just. But then when the music stopped, they would stop. But it's after they popped this little candy tart thing. It's like, what were they? But if you look at like old Disney movies, they talk about that too, like the subliminal messages that are in those things.
It's always been there for all of them. So, I mean, on one hand, I'm like, okay, I do understand the environment of this like
toxic
setting. I get it. But when you're talking about episode 2 and 3, I wanted to highlight. It was this. I don't know what her name was, because I don't think she was like she was an extra, and her mom was the only one.
Her Brandy. Her name was Brandy.
But TikTok, TikTok, I be watching.
TikTok found Brandy, didn't she?
No. But TikTok was basically like, it's funny how your mom is on here, but you're not on here, like talking about certain things.
I thought, I thought she took her life or something.
So I did too, but I don't think so. Oops, I hit this. So I don't think so, because it was more so talking about how, when she talked about the incident when she found that email from that guy, and she didn't report it because she didn't want to cause a scene. She didn't want to do like, too much. But it was more so of like, you didn't do anything. Like you wanted to protect yourself, and it's just like, that's why your daughter's not on here. Like you're
because she probably don't talk to you.
Spoke about nothing. Like she's never come on here or anything. And so I was looking on TikTok about that, and it was just basically like theories of like, it's probably because your daughter has disowned you because you didn't protect her when she was younger, even though she showed you what was going on, what was happening, and you didn't do anything.
It's funny because obviously, did you see about what the Massey's mom said? Kyle and Chris Massey?
No.
Well, so Kyle Massey from Raven, and Chris Massey was the black guy from Zoe 101. They're brothers.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah.
Yes, and so their mom came out. I don't know if it was Twitter or the iOS press release, but she was basically like praising Dan Schneider, saying he's a genius, blame the parents, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it's funny because the discourse on Twitter was like, yeah, let's blame the parents. And then it shows both of her sons' mugshots. So why did you allow your kids to do this? Because they've both been arrested. I think Kyle may have gotten in some trouble with some underage women, some stuff like that. I think Chris might have just had like a DUI. So his wasn't, still bad, but not as severe as anything on the sexual, realm of things. But it's funny because then days later, Chris Massey put out a statement that was like, if you don't hear from me, it's not my thoughts. When I'm ready to talk, I'll speak. So he was basically like, fuck you, mama. So I'm wondering if like her doing that, if he did experience some stuff and that caused a rift like it did in episode 2 with the black guy and his mom, how she spoke up because she knew it wasn't right and got him fired. And that's another thing. It's like when you say blame the parents, there's so many examples in that where parents were trying to do stuff and you saw what happened. Their kids got fired from the show. They didn't work again in Hollywood.
It created a rift between the parent and the child, but like as the child got older, they understood. But it's just like that rift you can't ever get back. Like
nope. And that's funny because I remember it was either Demi Lovato or JoJo. One of them was talking about this before. I think it was Demi on one of her documentaries that she had put out, later in her career. She was talking about how like being a child star, when you're the one that's bringing in all the money for your family, it creates a weird dynamic between you and your family or your parents, because it's like on one hand, that's your mom, dad. But on the other hand, you don't work because I'm working. So I say whatever I say goes because I'm bringing in the money. So imagine that when you being 8, 9, 10, making all the money, your parents say, don't do X, Y, Z. You like, bitch, you like this house we in?
Well, so fast forward to 4 and 5 with Drake.
3 and 4.
His dad
that broke my heart.
Saint of all saints, but he sacrificed a relationship with his son. And like he said that,
and I like how his mom wasn't on there at all.
At all. But and that's another thing TikTok brought me around to. So, do you know who his girlfriend was at the time?
Drake's? Oh, during that? No, who? Zoe?
Fifi Dobson.
Why do I know that name? She's a singer.
Yes, she's a singer. And her mom was the one that called and reported. And Fifi so Dobson. She actually has a song.
Why is she famous, though?
She's a singer. She actually has a song that literally talks about the situation with Drake. And so, like...
Oh, wow.
Drake's dad needs to be protected at all costs.
And I do like that at the end of, because that's what I was worried, because in, episode 3, his dad talks about how, like, it, was detriment to their relationship because he, wanted his son to be happy and do what he wanted and da-da-da. But then I did like that at the end of episode 4, you do see them together. And I was like, okay, good. So I didn't know if it was like they never talked again. I'm sure their relationship isn't the same.
That threw me was when he was talking about, like, he called his dad and was like, hey, such and such has been arrested.
Oh,
and his dad was like, oh my God.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I'm glad. Like, I knew something was going to happen. Like, I'm glad that you're okay. Not knowing that it was because of him. Oh my God. As a parent,
that hurt me.
Finding that out, I probably would
have. And then my thing was, I was thinking, this is a trigger warning. Whenever Drake was talking about it, because episode 3 is pretty much all Drake. When he was talking about it, and he keeps on going, like, just imagine the worst thing, and it's worse. But then you could, I didn't know. I guess I didn't. I mean, I understood, but then I was thinking, like, what could have, what could have happened? Because in my mind, I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. But then when you're watching it and when he's talking about it and you see him like adjusting in his seat, and then afterwards, that got me. But then afterwards, I literally went and Googled the court report, like, of what it actually was and the stuff that he did. Yeah, of course. I'd like to get my facts together because I was thinking in my mind, this is what I was. Know. But they do show it in the documentary when they go and but it's a lot of, they block out stuff, but then they say what it was, like what he was charged with, the different counts. But it was like, in my mind, I thought whenever he was talking about it, I thought that like maybe he was just like touching him. And then like maybe, no, like touching him while he was asleep, that he was like maybe, a little handy dandy on the thing, a little mouth on the thing.
That wasn't to the extent.
But when but then looking at the thing and seeing what it said, I was like, and then again to see him like adjusting in his seat, like he's reliving it again. One, shout out to you, Drake, for being brave enough to say that, because again, and I knew nothing about this, like prior to this.
That's the thing. Like, if I had to highlight any like situation that had been under the wraps for that extent, it would be this situation. Because other situations we heard, because I feel like Amanda Bynes we heard here and there. Actually, no, but Amanda Bynes spoke out multiple times and people didn't listen to her. But I feel like
I didn't pay attention as much to her.
Yeah, people didn't listen. Similarly with a lot of other people.
Alexa, I do know that girl, the Alexa girl with from Zoe 101, the kooky one. I know she started speaking out later in life. I remember that.
And Jeanette McCurdy, yeah.
But yes, because she wrote a book about it. But the Drake thing and the fact that it went to trial. And obviously, because he was minor, it was sealed, like the names. But like they were saying, there were celebrities in there caping for Homeboy. including Sean
So
and
many people.
what was his name? Sean from Boy Meets World and Eric from Boy Meets World were in there, and they've talked about it on their podcast now, saying they deeply regret it. And it's crazy because the guy, the Dan Peck guy, nobody knew, and the Dan Peck guy used to work on Growing Pains with Leonardo. What did I say? I said Dan Peck. Yeah, I combined them. Brian Peck guy used to work on Growing Pains with Leonardo DiCaprio, and they were showing those like flashbacks. And I'm like, if people actually, because I mean, it takes a lot to speak out. Obviously, we've seen that, and that's another thing I want to kind of pivot into. But we've seen, like, imagine if these, like, if Ariana Grande, we saw all those weird ass videos. Imagine if that's the reason why she left acting. Because this is the first time she's acted in the new Wicked that's coming since then. Not saying the music industry is any fucking better, because next thing. But it's like the fact, literally. But it's like you can literally, like, that could. I had never seen those videos, and because I didn't watch Victorious, that was always your jam. Because tongue dips only.
Yeah, but like I said, it was on YouTube, but I never watched those either.
It's so, like, that was cringe. But the Drake episode broke my fucking heart.
But the fact that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he broke media and everything, because this was your first time coming on here about this, and nobody knew about nothing. Like, no. What the hell?
That was the crazy thing, because that happened so long ago. And like, granted, I mean, he's had, like, you know, issues later on in life, but every child star has, literally almost everyone, except for Hilary Duff. Everybody has, or Keenan. Keenan's been pretty good too. He hasn't had too much of a. He's been on SNL, but he spoke out, you know, recently on, I think it was like Tamron Hall, and he was talking about, like, it was after his time, because Dan Schneider didn't work on Keenan and Kel. Yeah, but he was like, he believes the victims, and he feels like it should be fully investigated. But the craziest part to me was the Brian Peck guy. After he only got 16 months in prison for that. I'm like, that is insane. And then to be found guilty for all those things, and that's still, it would be different if it was like he only got found guilty of one count and they gave him 16. But for all the shit that you did to a minor, you got 16 months in prison and have to register as a sex offender. Big whoop. What? That was, and then to go work at Disney on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I'm like, no, bro.
Just wait till that stuff comes out.
I'm like, watch, now Disney about to have one.
I feel like Disney would have one.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like all platforms probably have some.
And that's the thing that's crazy, right? That's crazy to me, because it's like, they're kids. You know, it's like, what? I never watched the documentary on Barney. Did you watch that one? There was one about Barney, but I don't know if
you were on those.
Selena and but I don't know if it was necessarily about, like, the children that were on there, but there was one that came out maybe like a year or two ago. But I remember seeing the previews for it where they talked about, like, how Barney, the character, was receiving death threats and stuff like that as the person. I didn't watch it, but I don't know if it's similar to this about toxic work environment or what. Now I kind of want to go and watch it and see, but
I don't know if my little heart can take it.
I mean, the only thing I remember, honestly, from Barney was the theme song, obviously iconic, and the green grass grows all around and the green grass grows. That's all I remember. So I wasn't too much of a Barney fan. I think I did have a tape, though, a VHS.
Oh, I love Barney. But all of my VHSs are at my grandmother's house to this day, of all the Barney episodes, because Selena and Demi were on there. That's why I love both Selena and Demi.
Okay, that actually does make sense. But no, never. I don't recall being a Barney kid. I don't know. I was a Rugrats kid, but I feel like that's later in life.
That's very later.
I'm about to say it was different. I feel like most of the shows outside of Nickelodeon that I was like really big were all cartoons, so it was a little bit easier, like, to like try to separate, because it's like they're not real kids. It's like they're playing a kid. It's an adult probably doing the actor. But the Nickelodeon era, those were people. That was like the only, because back then Disney, I feel like, was mainly cartoons, because you had like Roly Poly Oly, you had the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, you had Bear in the Big Blue House, PB&J Otter, like those things. It was cartoons. So I didn't. But then you think all that Kenan and Kel, which luckily Kenan and Kel said they could. But it's like to think about what they went through to make these shows that we loved, and now like that's tainted my view of all that, because all that used to be the shit. The musical performances.
My view of what was this? It's not a spinoff, but it was like a little like the slime.
Oh yeah, that. I don't know where that. And then there was a thing. Wait, are you talking about a show? Double Dare 2000?
Was it Double Dare?
That was one. Double Dare was one
that they talked about on the show.
Oh, I don't know if that was a separate show or if that was like a subset of all that.
It was a separate show.
Yes, so it was like Kids Fear Factor, basically.
Yes.
I don't remember that. I told
you this. So it wasn't that show that I went on. I think it was a subset of all that. So when I was younger, and I wish I'll try to find the picture to give to you to maybe post with this, but. You know, obviously my family was from Los Angeles. And so
I went to Universal.
We went to Universal multiple times. And I was called on stage for like an all that segment. And I had to pour like mustard and mayonnaise on somebody. Like, I never told you this?
No.
I was young.
I know you was on Deal or No Deal. Not Deal or No Deal. Let's Make a Deal.
yeah. But as I was an adult. This is as I was a child. Like this
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I was on the set and like had to pour, and my mom was like, she was like there the whole time because she was like, of course. I'm just making sure where they taking you, where you going, what you doing.
That's great. No, I did not know that.
But that wasn't that one, but it was like a subset show of an actual show, and so it's so funny because it's not funny, but it's so funny because it's like. They thrive off of the like
interaction
tangent shows about that because like they feed on live audience interaction and all that.
That was back when everything was filmed in front of a live studio audience,
right?
Like everything. I remember like literally my first concerts were the All That Music and More festivals, where it was like all the musical guests that were on All That, they would tour, or like some of the kids. Like I met Kenan and Kel were like the hosts of those things. Like I remember my dad. We went always in the Woodlands. Was where we would go. It was always outside. And so now to think of like all the shit that those kids were going through behind the scenes, that is insane. I've never been on one of those. Not at all.
Well, so I met Kel in my adult life.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was the
you did tell me that.
Bar crawl. And it was the 90s bar crawl in Houston. And I took a picture with him and he was cool. But then
he seems normal now.
Things came out on social media. Apparently him and his daughter are not as close, and she like spoke her truth about certain things. So
there was like, something with his baby mama.
So all of this is so fake.
Yeah, everything. It's like that's why they say don't meet your idols because they turn out to be assholes. I don't think I've ever met.
Don't get me started on Jennifer Lopez. She's not my idol, but don't get me started on her because I'm pretty sure. No. But I'm pretty sure you've heard recently of all the stuff that's going on with her.
No, what happened?
Oh, child. Never mind. Okay, that's for a later date.
No, because I'm curious.
She made that whole documentary or whatever, and she's like referring to like I'm from the Bronx and my hair was like this and this.
Oh, I did see that. And then somebody from like school that went to school with her was like, "Girl, you wasn't on the 6."
So many people are like, "Homegirl."
That's crazy because I didn't watch that documentary because it's on Amazon Music.
I just been watching the whatchamacallit.
She put out that documentary, which was like the making of her last album, but then she also put out like a movie, music movie kind of thing. I watched that and that was actually really good. I'm not really. It was really good because I prefer her acting than singing.
I do too.
Because Enough, top tier, Made in Manhattan. Great.
Superb.
I thought you were about to say Selena.
Monster-in-Law.
I've never seen Selena. Superb. I know. I listen to her music, but I've never seen the actual movie. I know it's still fuck Yolanda, but never seen it. Sorry, y'all. Don't judge me. But this is a nice pivot. I don't want to. I don't know if I've seen all of it, but I know because it came on like TNT.
Acting is superb, and that's the only thing
she's a great actress.
not take credit for, because other people have been taking credit for like her singing and all that good stuff.
Ashanti.
Rightfully so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I just saw another TikTok prior to getting on this call today.
TikTok. Let me do research.
Of somebody who was singing in another song that she had. So yeah.
I don't know. Most of her stuff is in her voice.
Which I knew that, but I thought it was more so Ashanti. I didn't know it was just like random other people. Acting, you can't take that away from her.
Because the movie Enough, I've watched. That's one of the few movies, because I don't be rewatching movies like that. But Enough, that movie is great from start to finish. It is great. So that was you this morning? Yep. You always did forget to turn off the coffee before you left. That movie is amazing. Oh, pigeon poop. Movie is amazing.
Might just watch
that
again.
I'm not watching it tonight because I'm definitely going to take my sleeping pill as soon as we finish recording. And eat some more cereal because but also, have you segue, because Jennifer Lopez, this is Lily, my brother just texted me. Are you coming out here Monday or you can't?
I say I gotta work Monday. Okay,
I do, but maybe I'll drive there.
To that, can I go pee?
I'm not going to.
I didn't go pee.
You didn't go pee whenever you said you were going to?
Oh no, well I did. But
okay. Well, yes, we'll take one more quick break, and then there's one thing that I want to talk about that I don't think we need to take long because we're definitely pushing the 2-hour mark, and then we can wrap this bad boy up.
I know it's very.
I know it's supposed to be shorter. I know. We'll be back. We are back to wrap up this episode with one quick thing, which was a great segue when we were talking about J-Lo, but Natalie had to go release the demons.
Tinkle.
Okay, yeah, I shouldn't say demons, because demons is usually what we use when it's the other end. Anyway, have you been keeping up, not with the Kardashians, but with the Love Combs? That's why I was like, it's pretty much the exact same thing as the Dan Schneider situation, except in the music industry. That shit is insane. Long overdue.
I have not seen like the ins and outs of it recently, but what I have been cracking up over TikTok, obviously, they have been making multiple videos of Diddy doing the twin. Where have you been?
When you were here, you were wow, I didn't know that's where that was going. Remember when you were here? No, I did not see that cover. Did you see? Oh no, not did you see? When you were here, you were trying to show me they were like, this is a clone. Diddy got a stunt double, and I saw the photo, and it really don't look like that.
I couldn't find nothing. I was like, somebody deleted it.
So I found a photo, like the mugshot that's supposed to be him. This situation, it's sad for the victims, yes. It's comical for this nigga because the circus that is around it is hilarious. Now, and it's funny because I remember last year when Cassie was kind of the first one to get this ball rolling, when that came out, and everybody, matter of fact, everybody, this is when we were at Mariah's birthday in November. This was right around the time, and you know how that, when we were at Mariah's birthday, this is right around the time, maybe like a week or two after he had settled with Cassie, which literally he settled the day after he came out. And everybody was like, she just wanted money and blah, 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 blah. Because it was a civil suit. And in civil suits, all you can get is money from it. And now all these other people are coming out. And it's like, you don't think it actually happened now? Everybody can't be telling the same lie. there can't be this much evidence. And then now, was it this week or last week where his houses got raided by the feds in Miami? And normally when the feds are come a knocking, they already got everything that they need but one thing. Because you don't see the feds doing raids too much
at this point.
Literally, they just come in to let you know we hear and we see you.
We see you.
We see you, and we will also be seeing you very, very.
Okay, TJ, stop making me laugh.
Jesus. No, it's funny for him, not for the victims. But it's great for the victims because hopefully they will finally be getting some kind of justice. Yeah, because can you imagine, like, the Cassie thing was taking place over like 10 years of her enduring that. And then the most recent one with the guy, the producer, like, that was literally a year or two ago. So it's not like you just did this like a one-off. And then now there's people from the 90s that are like, he has like at least 3 like he about to be on the same level as Trump with the amount of lawsuits he faces. It's insane to me that people will still, and this is exactly what happened with Bill Cosby. Like, all the allegations were coming out, and obviously nothing is confirmed yet, like, you know, all that good stuff. But all these allegations are coming, and people are just like, they're just trying to tear a black man down and blah, blah, blah. But if you're fucking up in the manner in which these black men have been fucking up, do you not think they deserve it? And it's funny how when people say stuff like that, and then it's like, what if this happened to someone that you knew or that you were close to? Would you have this same thought? Like, would you be saying the same thing? Or would you be like, nah, this nigga gotta go? And that has been literally like everywhere, like all the stuff. And I don't know when this is supposed to go to trial or if it is going to go to trial now that he's allegedly surrendered and cooperated with police. But the circus, like, every day there's like something new coming out. And it was funny because I was listening to maybe last week's episode of The Read, and they were talking about this, and Tyrese, who, God bless his soul, was like, made a post, because, you know, it's all these random celebrities are coming out of the woodworks, you know, caping for Diddy. Puffy. And so he was like, I'm praying for Diddy and I'm praying for the victims.
How can you pray for both? I mean, you can.
And I was like, that's like a double negative. Like, you can't say that, yes, the victims are right, and also the man that did it I don't know. Because it will be different. So this is where I stand with it. You can say I'm praying for the victims and the guy if it was a one-time thing. And maybe he was dealing with some kind of demon or something that it was just and like, I'm praying for him that he gets delivered from whatever. When this is a habitual thing that has been taking place over decades, it's no longer a mistake. It's a choice. It is a choice. You're choosing to do this. Right. Yeah, this is premeditated murder. As I don't know what song that was to somebody. Kodak Black. I'm gonna teach you how to get rid of murder. Anyway, yes, that is the craziest thing to me. And abuse of power is literally what it is. And I guess I've never been in any type of position that I've had significant amount of power where people are like, I don't want to say scared of me, but like, are wanting to ride the coattails or get something because I have it, to know what that feels like. But it seems like that's what happens, and predominantly it's with men, that when they get that much power, they feel like they can do whatever they want and take advantage of that. And that's just, it's sad to me, because in a world where, when you have, especially as Black people, when you attain that much power, instead of trying to lift people up and take them up with you, you do dumb shit like this.
Yep.
Insane. And it's crazy. There needs to be some kind of study of like when women actually get to that level of power. And you know what? When they get to that level of power, like, if this is happening, but then literally just had this thought, what if it actually is, but because, like that episode, our last episode, who we talk about men and emotions, men don't want to say it because they don't want to feel emasculated. So it just goes under the radar and women are just getting away with it. That would be a great, you should make a documentary about that, since you miss Cult Queen.
But I don't know to the extent when women get in power if it's men that's under them or other women.
This is true. Yeah.
Because a lot of the times I feel like, and I could be wrong, but a lot of the times I feel like when it's women in power, it's other women under them, not necessarily men.
Men. True. But there, there's like, was the Fannie Willis, the district attorney for Atlanta that's suing Trump right now for all that stuff, and like how that whole thing came out not too long ago about she was having so she's the district attorney, she's suing Trump for like election interference or something like that for trying to overturn the election. It's this one of Trump's big cases. And she's the district attorney. The prosecutor on the case comes to find out she was having an affair with him, not during the case, but it came out because he was getting a divorce and his wife said it. So now it's this big thing of, is she paying him to do this, trial and stuff like that. And I think they've already went to court about it, and it's basically like he had to either get off the case if she stays on it or XYZ. But it's crazy how fast that happened when it's a woman. Meanwhile, Diddy is like, there's so much evidence, and here we are just waiting for, power dynamics is weird. And I pray that, one, I never get to that level of power, because more power comes so many more problems. And if I do, that I don't become that person, which I do wholeheartedly think I was raised better than that to ever do that.
The blind eye that I turn to them emails that they be sending me about become a lead therapist. I'm good. I'm okay.
No, I
don't want to elevate. I'm good. I'm fine.
Where
I'm fine with
that. And my thing is, I'm all about like wanting to elevate and all that stuff like that. But it's like I've listened to other.
I'm good now.
Where it's like there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire, because you had to step. I don't think I ever want to get there. But then I'm also like, what if I could be the one? What if I don't know. I don't want that much responsibility.
I value work-life balance to the extent that.
But that's the thing. Once you get to that level of power, it's delegate. Everybody else is making the decisions for you. You're just a figurehead. Like, it's like if you think about the president is a figurehead. Congress runs it.
Yes, but I'm not willing to act on those in-between levels before I get to that part.
Fair.
I'm not doing it.
Because that's when the shit comes in. It's when you're in that middle and you're like trying to not prove yourself, but they want you to elevate, and you're kind of like, I'm good here. But then it's like, no, either you're going to elevate or you're going back down. That's the part I don't want to get to. And that's literally why I left sales, because I felt the good boys culture that was in that. And I was like, nah, this ain't for me. It's not. And it is interesting because I can't think of, and I guess it's because it's never happened. And I'm sure maybe Diddy's, I don't know. It's like maybe he thought the same thing, that I'm going to be different, and then fell victim to the same shit. But I'm just like, I don't have the thought in my brain of, if I ever become this, that I'm going to shit on other people or take advantage of other people. And the fact that there are so many people, like, there's so much in the music industry, which is why it was funny whenever all the Me Too stuff was happening in Hollywood, that people like, wait till it hits the music industry. And it still hasn't, but I'm just like, America.
Imagine
a world like that. I love that Ariana song. Anywho, that is all I had to say. I didn't want to dive too deep in the Diddy stuff because it's still ongoing. Maybe once things start coming out, we can do an episode upon power dynamics. Actually, I don't know if I want to do that. I think I want to keep things light. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when that happens. We'll just let that, ride to the thingy. But that's all I have. Did you have anything else that was on your lovely braided scalp to get off?
Do you see the fresh braid? Y'all? Shout out to Naila. She is my friend, my braider.
Don't give out too much, because you're not going to be able to get an appointment. That's why I be scared sometimes, too. When I be talking to my therapist. Get an appointment
because we're friends at this point.
All right. Oh, yeah, y'all travel together. How about to say, I'll be telling people my therapist, and I'll be like, if you need a therapist, I got one. She's right down thinking. I'm thinking, like, if my slot becomes unavailable. Because that Thursday, that's me and my homegirls thing. But no, do you have
I don't have anything else. I think that we covered most things.
Good. This has been another episode of, I don't know why I said it like that. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and the Tick and Talk before they decide to ban that app.
They're not. Okay, don't say such words.
Okay. I mean, you're more ticky-tacky than me. Yes, so be sure to follow us. Let us know things in the comments. Let us know what you think of the episode. Rate the show, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and all that fun stuff. And if you would like to, why am I hunched over like this? If you would like to send us a lovely listener letter and get some advice from us two loco humans, send it to askcrazylittlepod@gmail.com, or you can click on the link in our bio on Instagram, and there's a lovely feature that lets you email it right then and there. On that note, we will run out of here, but before we do, our next episode, please be sure to tune in because we will have our first guest of the season, and we will be talking all things millennials and real estate and homes. So if you have questions for our lovely real estate expert, put them in the comments on Instagram or on TikTok, and we will ask him those when we get him on the show. But until then, see you lovely peoples in 2 weeks, because I don't know what weeks is in Spanish.
I don't know.
Yeah, seeing you took Spanish, I took French, so I don't know it in French either, though. But anyway, bye, y'all.